Welcome to the Brownsville Minute, a community-conscious conversation and a platform that provides information, wellness, love, and unity all on a digital platform. And our goal is to try to make sure that our community residents are informed, conscious, and that we are connecting the dots on a virtual platform. The Brownsville Minute is designed for everyone. Please join us with the Brownsville Minute. Where Brooklyn at? Where Brooklyn at? Where Brooklyn at? Where Brooklyn at? Hey! Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Brownsville Minute. I am super excited to have you join us this evening. We are live and we are back for season 2. The Brownsville Minute is a platform where we have conscious conversations about issues and concerns that impact the residents of East Brooklyn. We specifically target a focus within my hometown, Ocean-Hill Brownsville. And we designed this platform where we have conversations with some really dope and amazing people. And this platform is all centered in love. The goal of this platform is to pretty much provide another way, a positive way to highlight some of the goodness that exists within Brownsville. So my name is Anita Pierce and I'm your host and the producer of the Brownsville Minute. Tonight, I am super grateful that you have actually joined this evening, because tonight we are going to be featuring some of the dopest talent that exists within Brownsville. And so, but before we jump into tonight's discussion, I really want to just put out a few friendly reminders, because this platform is also about sharing information. So before we actually jump into our wonderful conversation, I want to just put out a couple of reminders. Early voting is happening this week. It's happening this week. And so it started on Saturday. It finishes on June 20th, and primary day is June 22nd. And the polls are open on June the 22nd from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. Now, if you have not taken advantage of early voting and you are not aware of your poll site, please keep in mind that there is a difference in where the polling site is for early voting versus where you decide to vote on election day, which is on June the 22nd. So I want to make sure that we are really aware that those things are happening, but also know that ranked choice voting, this will be the first time in New York City for this primary election that we will be utilizing the new election system, or how we're voting through ranked choice voting. And if you've watched any of our previous episodes, we did a full range of information sessions specifically about what ranked choice voting and what that will look like, and also how that will impact our community. So make sure that, we're still in the midst of a pandemic, even though we have, rules change, etc. But we have to be mindful that, we still have work to do as a community. We have so many people that are running. All the offices are open, available, and we have a number of individuals who are vying for our vote. So I wanted to just plug that as a reminder, but also tomorrow is going to be really exciting because we're doing another Brownsville Minute. Tomorrow we are going to be interviewing a candidate for Kings County Civil Court judge. And why I always get excited about those episodes, because I don't have to host it. And so we actually have a young person that is going to be doing all of the work and all the interviewing. Imani Jones, Moments with Mani, is coming, and they'll be here tomorrow. So please join the Brownsville Minute, so that if you have any questions or last minute reservations about who you're going to be voting for the Kings County Civil Judge, you have an opportunity to do so now. So join us live. And so I get the good opportunity. When I mean good, because, most of the folks I don't know, but this particular dopeness that's about to come forward had me doing push-ups, had me doing all type of craziness, and I still got the baby weight, y'all. Like that. That now, y'all know that don't make any sense. My child is 6 years old, and I still got baby weight, even though I was doing push-ups. But anyway, so Tinnette Spann is the proud owner, with co-owner, daughter Chelsea, of Miss Spudz, an everything potato and no gravy, a former Brownsville resident who has very strong roots from living in Noble Drew, aka Plaza, just in case, for the old heads who know Brownsville. And then moved over to Linden Plaza in 1979. What's so amazing about this whole story, and I actually had learned this while I was doing the push-ups, is that Miss Spann's grandmother founded St. Timothy's Holy Church, which was located right around the corner from me. That church that I would always see. And, you know, I actually went to go apply for summer jobs there. I didn't get SYEP, by the way, but it was always there. But I finally got an opportunity to meet, you know, at least through the generations who actually, the family who actually own it. So that's pretty dope. So I always get excited about that when I know somebody like, you know, that got some stuff happening in the community. But anyway, so now Ms. Spann is now presides as the president of St. Timothy's Holy Church. And it has been a source of resource in the community for a number of years. So I'm really excited because there's some good news that has happened recently with the church. So I really want to blow that up because never, ever have I known. But anyway, I'm going to pause just a little bit because I want to really bring on all we talk about Black girl magic and all that other stuff that's happening. The woman who had me doing all these freaking push-ups. It did work, but I just didn't follow through. Hey, Tinnette.
You're funny.
It's the truth.
I'm glad you're telling the truth that you didn't follow through because it
did
work.
It did work for some time, but it did. It was my fault. It was not the coach's fault. I just gained it back.
But it's okay. You had just had your baby, I believe. Am I right? So you weren't necessarily in the whole mindset of committing to something like that, but your heart was in the right place and you did show up and you did well. You did well for what it's worth, right? And I'm sure that some of those skills that you learned, I hope that they're still with you today. So they're not. Okay.
I do push-ups. Okay. That's about it. That's
you know what? Add about 30 minutes of walking and some squatting and lots of water. You're gonna be all right. You're gonna be all right. And a healthy diet, you'll be okay.
I was about to say that is the key.
Yeah.
That's the key. The other really stuff, is. You know. All right. So let's jump right into what is not in your bio that we really want to know about who you are.
Girl, there's so much.
Well, tell it all.
I was a professional singer and actress. Look at your face. Look, see.
Keep your secrets.
I was a singer at 15 years old, and did some touring, recording, and things like that. I was in a group called Fitty Love, with myself and one of my closest now friends, Felicia Stevens. I was in theater, lots of things. I'm also an on-set adult athlete where I've completed multiple half marathons, triathlons. I'm an avid runner, swimmer, biker, swam the Hudson River, the Atlantic Ocean. I'm always up for trying new things. So I like to say at this point in my life, I'm living my dash, right? So when the day comes, God will be satisfied with me, and I'll be satisfied with myself as a person that I've done everything that I could do in my life to participate in this life.
So you broke all the stereotypes, because I heard folks from Brownsville don't swim.
Folks from Brownsville need to swim. But let me tell you how untrue that is, because we are from Brownsville, right?
And we do swim.
Bessie Head isn't Bessie Head today because we did not swim.
We swam.
We swam. We didn't have any major skills or anything, but we were not afraid of any water. We did the best we could. We emulated and copied everything we saw on television. We acted the part. You know what I mean? And we did very well because we were fearless back then. That's what Brownsville. Right. It's rooted. We are rooted.
So yeah, I'm gonna do something really early. You got some fans, right? I mean, you must have brought your whole squad in because, hey, Kiara, she says, "Oh my goodness, she's super well rounded." Oh. Hey, Kiara.
Thank you.
We're from Brownsville. What you expect? We ain't
nothing. Brownsville, baby.
And then, hi, Stephanie. So you probably from Linden Plaza. If
that's my
girl. Know we had to have two to start with. We love you. Oh, see. So welcome to the Brownsville Minute. This is what we do. We bring you into the conversation. So please keep the comments coming. So at some point during the end of the actual official interview, we will be bringing in your questions because I have a lot of questions. So you have actually two businesses, but I wanted to talk about the most recent one that, it's been around for a bit, which is Miss Spudz. Tell us a little bit more about them good old delicious fries and that extra special sauce that I'm still trying to get the secret from.
Honey, let me tell you something. I started Miss Spudz in 2012 officially. I registered the company, started the business. I went to a program called WeBo, Workshops in Business Organization, and I recommend anyone that's an entrepreneur that wants to start a business, reach out to them. I started with WeBo, and they taught me everything that I needed to know. I had the ambition, I had the heart to be a business owner, but I didn't have the know-how. And WeBo got me to where I needed. So one of the things that they teach you is start with what you have. And my idea was that it wasn't artificial intelligence. It wasn't being in medical or in education, which I am also now in. Start with what you have. They always say, if you do something you love, it's not work, right? And French fries just happen to be my thing. Like when I tell you I love potatoes, and I believe that there are people out there that love potatoes as much as I did. And I used to dream of having a French fry cart, like a hot dog cart, a French fry cart. And I was like, nobody's gonna buy my potatoes. Nobody's gonna come to my French fry potato and buy. That's just a crazy idea. And literally talked my dream out of my head. But it never went away. The idea just never went away. So like I said, I started with what I had. I started with one fryer. As a matter of fact, my sister bought my fryer. My mom gave me the money. No, I registered my company. My mom gave me the money. All of my family had invested, because that's the other thing that WeBo teaches you, is to have the people who love and care about you, who believe in you, to invest in you. So they all did. And it was like a 10-pound bag of potatoes. It was like $20 bottle of oil and all this kind of stuff. And I really started small. And I got out there, and I see you, Linda. I got out there and I sold my potatoes, and I started with a sauce. So take you back to the church, right? I started with the sauce that my grandmother used when we used to feed the community. My grandmother would cook like she would cook for everyone else, right? After church, but she would open the doors to the community. And we would, as children, we would have to serve the guests, right? And we would go, Grandma, we've run out of salad dressing. And she'd go, baby, put some ketchup and mayonnaise on that salad and go feed those people. I dipped my French fry in that particular sauce, and that is now Grandma's original sauce and one of our biggest sellers on Miss Spudz. So I added to that collection of sauces, and now we have over 26 different sauces in our collection. They range from Grandma's original, mango chutney, peach apricot, garlic parmesan, curry ketchup, creamy wasabi, and the list goes on and on and on. And people seem to love them. We sell them by the bottles, and that's all she wrote. Miss Spudz is here.
It's not we seem to love. We do love it. Like, yeah. So let me just put up the other shout outs before I get into the next question. I told you brought your squad deep with you. So
yep.
They
Thank you, everybody.
Yep. So yes. So now that you started this dream, like let's get into like the business side, because we always talk about like the fame of it. What does it look like? What was like your startup costs? Like you talked about, you got the support from like your family members, like because you started really small, but now you've grown into like this little food truck thingy now.
Yeah. So the startup costs are very different from what they were in 2012. Okay. In 2012, my startup cost was really like $500. Now that I've expanded and really stepped out on faith and trusted myself, and knew that in order to be a competitor, I had to really get out there and compete and have all the things that I need in order to have a successful business, to make quality food, to give quality service. I needed to invest in myself, and that caused financial commitment. So that in itself, that startup was about $150,000. But I believe in that $150,000 will turn over. It will turn over. It will grow. It will grow into other trucks. And it's showing proof. We're doing really well after starting literally in the pandemic. I decided at the before they even announced it, the week prior to them announcing that we had a pandemic, I was going back and forth as to whether I was going to do a brick and mortar or a food truck. But I'm knowing who I am, I dare to be different. I always love a challenge. I said, we're going to do a food truck. Everybody has a brick and mortar. Not many African American owners have a food truck and the ability to be flexible and mobile. So I said, this is an opportunity to do something different. And I did. And then the pandemic hit and I was literally in debt that week, right? Until the governor allowed for outdoor eating. And that's when I said, thank you, God, we're going to be all right. We're going to be all right. Right. And so with that, we've been able to put back into the company. I've been able to hire 3 people. I have 3 employees now. It's been amazing. It's been an amazing ride. Everything that I thought about Ms. Spudz to happen, it's been happening. So I'm grateful.
So what's really interesting about it is, and for those entrepreneurs who are, if you watch the show, I always say that, if you want to try something really scary besides being a parent, think about entrepreneurship, because it is no joke. So I want to, pretty much focus in on a couple of things. You talked about a vision, right? You said it in a number of different ways, but you had this in your mind, that this was something that you wanted to do, starting with, just because your love of potatoes and French fries. And then it went into, making this investment. And there's a lot of businesses. I want to also add that too. There's a lot of businesses that have started really in the pandemic that's going to, if they keep at it, because you started off with in the midst of the craziness. Like, can you imagine the midst of a world pandemic?
Yeah.
And you took a risk, a huge step of faith, to bet on the gifts that you have embedded into yourself. So I want to say kudos, because I know that you've had this for a while, but just to do something, so extensive, that's like running almost like a half marathon, maybe. No, can't even equate it.
But way different. I will tell you, that analogy was very good. Not a half marathon, but a triathlon. Okay. So with the triathlon, you have 3 different components. You have running, biking, and swimming. And within each one of those, there are transitions. Okay. There are times where you have to just jump out there. There's times you're going to have to pace yourself. There are times you're going to have to pull back. There are times you're going to have to stop and regroup. You understand what I'm saying? So if there is an analogy, it's definitely a triathlon, right? And all of it feeds the dynamic of the entrepreneur. You know what I'm saying? Like it keeps you going. It keeps the challenge. It keeps the excitement, especially since we're in a people business. I love meeting people. I love serving people. I even learned recently that service is my love language. So all of this is super easy for me. All of it is super easy for me. So if there is any challenge, I would say it would be a triathlon. There's a lot of components in being a business owner. Know what you know. Know your business. Know that it's something that is in your heart. Don't do something that you're not familiar with, that you can really care less about at the end of the day. Something, if it touches you and it'll move and touch and inspire somebody else, that might be the thing for you.
And so Abina says that you're such an inspiration.
Oh,
All right. Okay. All
thank you,
right.
Abina.
So let's keep it going. So what is involved in the day-to-day operations of running a mobile food truck? Like what does that
Uh,
look like? When do you start your day, etc.?
my day starts about 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning. Um, I'm always I'm always in the stores. I'm always in the ShopRites and the restaurant depots and the Jetros and the Home Depot. Always, I'm always forgetting something. Nothing is perfect and exact on any given day. The night before, I'm prepping. I get to the truck prepping for the lunch crowd because we start at 12 and close at 8 o'clock. There's food to put out. There's a register to load. There's product to prepare, and making sure the menu is accurate. And it's on from there really, and from there it really flows because it's about service, right? Making sure the food is where it's supposed to be, that we're giving quality food that is accurate for the customers. And the funny thing is we're not always, I'm not even on front, we're not always accurate, but we will always fix it, right?
Mm.
We always aim to please. And just throughout the day, it's a lot of standing because it's a food truck. It's not, we don't have the luxury of having back seating or an office or anything like that. We have the cab that's in the front where our 2 seats are. And if you have the time, which you usually don't, because there's always something to do, there's always something to clean, there's always something to replenish, there's always a customer coming. That's the blessing. There's always something to do, right? You're always advertising, you're always marketing, you're always looking for another opportunity to expose and expand your business. So there's always something to do. You should be doing something always. If you have idle time, you're not doing enough. You're just not doing enough. You know, you go to sleep when you go to sleep you go to sleep when you go to sleep. You know what I'm saying? My hours are like 12, 14 hours, but I wouldn't change it for a thing. I worked in corporate America. I worked for Lehman Brothers and American Express, where I've worked 9 to 5, 8 to 4, 10 to 6, things like that. But it wasn't as rewarding as this. This is mine. It belongs to me. I have full and complete control of it. And I get to share it with the people that I want to share it with, unlike what you would get with corporate entities that give you what they feel you should have, you know. So I hope that answered your question.
No, that did. And Kiara made a statement. She said, I like that she said nothing is perfect and that it takes a huge weight off the shoulders of someone who is stagnant in pursuing their dreams because of the notion of perfection. So I think essentially what she's saying is that oftentimes when we are looking, to go into the journey of entrepreneurship, that we have to think in our head that everything is perfect. And the reality is it's really not. But I like the fact that you pride yourself on making sure that your customers are satisfied. They're not always right. However, just making sure that they're satisfied because you do want them to return. And as long as you're able to fix the issue,
Right,
whatever it may be.
right. I don't want them talking about me. I want them talking nice about me. Okay.
The truth is they still going to talk about you long as they come back and be supportive of you.
Yeah.
Long as you fix, whatever the issue may have been, they still going to talk about you.
You know what? Here's the funny thing is people are going to talk anyway, right? But as long as you know, like you said, as long as you know that you did the right thing, opinion and perspective is one thing, but the truth and facts are something different. And if I know I did the right thing, it's all good. Go ahead and talk.
And so I want to just ask just a couple of questions.
Sure.
Well, no, I'm asking questions anyway, but more towards like, who are your OGs that you lean on, in this space? Like, because now you've transitioned over really full-fledged into entrepreneurship. Who are your OGs that support you?
I will say my mom. My mom has always been there from the very beginning. Even when I was a singer, the amount of money that she used to support me in the studio, outfits, traveling. When it came to Miss Spudz, she was out there, talking to the customers and letting them know who we are. We have the best sauce and the best fries and the this and the that. Mom was also an entrepreneur when I was a young girl. She was a top seller for Amway. You know what I mean?
Wow.
She was also a travel agent, which I got into as well. That's another business that I had, right? We follow in our parents' footsteps because I believe these are the things that I should do because mom knows best, right? So she is the OG. I still confer to her when I have any thoughts or unsure about something. I tap into her wisdom, you know. Stephen Jackson, he's the president now of Weibo. He was actually one of our instructors during the 2012-2013 session of Weibo. Now he's the president, and I can call him anytime about anything regarding the business, about my profit and loss, about expectations, about pricing. Now the pricing, food is in the price of food is increasing. What do I do now? How do I transfer that over? I don't want to charge it to my customers, and I don't want to, I don't want to diminish the quality. I always want to give good quality. So the conversations that we have within that is rewarding. My girlfriend Felicia Stevens, who had a bookstore in Best Eye for babies and a play place and bookstore. What's the name of it? Oh, I forgot the name of it, but she's an amazing business owner. She also has programs in public schools, and she's another wise person. So I have a number of people who are beyond supportive, who are clear in their thought, who are practicing entrepreneurs. So I'm in a really nice bubble of people whom I can trust. I will say that.
And then Stephanie goes, she get it from her mama.
I get it from my mommy.
Get it from her mama. Hashtag she get it from her mama. So I want to just pivot just a little bit because not only do you have a for-profit, you have a nonprofit, right? Mm-hmm. And so that to me is two separate entities with two separate issues, two separate challenges.
Yeah.
However, both of them have social impact. So let's talk about some of your recent wins with St. Timothy Holy Church.
Let's talk about
that. Let me get my water.
Hold on. Let's take a sip to that.
Because this is exciting news.
It's amazing.
Drum roll. Let's go.
So St. Timothy, my grandmother acquired, repeat this. My grandmother acquired St. Timothy Holy Church in 1964, an old Jewish 20,000 square foot synagogue for $1. With that, she restored the building with youth from the community, started her church, St. Timothy's Holy Church. From then on, had a place of worship for young people, many families. We had a congregation of over 150 people, members at one time, throughout the years. And over time, as it so happens, the congregation diminishes, maintenance costs and things like that become overwhelming. But the beautiful thing is that we are 501c3, we're tax exempt. So the cost of maintenance is not so exorbitant that it's not unbearable. When grandma passed away, it was the responsibility of the family to maintain it as well as the parishioners. But again, life so happens, people move away, they pass away, and the congregation diminishes. And until at a point in time, there's no congregation. Grandma's there by herself for the most part. I'm young, I'm living my life, I'm doing me or whatever, but I'm still close to the church, right? I still go to service. Mom is there, and she's supportive. And I think with that generation, they lost direction or whatever have you, and how to maintain and how to maintain and move forward. But after grandma's passing, mom's retirement, I'm still close to the church, the families that are within the church, and I decided to restructure some things. I'm still a church girl, even though I live my life however I live it. God is good with me. Um, um, my responsibility, it was to restore grandma's vision of faith, community, and service. So I started having services once a month, right before the pandemic hit. Then the pandemic hit, and we just stopped having services altogether. But all the while, I started doing some research and realized that St. Timothy, not St. Timothy the church, but the synagogue, which is called Shever Torah Rabinowitz Temple of some sort, right? That building in itself was turning 100 years old. And once a building becomes 100 years old, especially something as special and as special as that building, we had the opportunity to become a landmark. So we 2 years prior, as a matter of fact, we had put in the applications. It had done some research with a young man named Thomas Rice, who was working toward his master's in landmark restoration, this degree, very special degree. And with that, St. Timothy, Shever Torah had become his thesis in order to graduate. He did the research, submitted it, and we've been waiting for the last 2 years up until June 10th, when we got the word that Shever Torah, owned by St. Timothy, let's say that, has become a national landmark. So Brownsville, not us, okay? Brownsville has a landmark sitting right in the center of the community, right?
Can we say that out loud for those who can't hear it? Okay.
Brownsville, that community, okay, has a national landmark in the center. So we're looking forward to all of the opportunities that will be afforded to us to restore. When I tell you this building is beautiful, when I tell you the vestibule is laid in marble and gold lame, slate floors, I mean, the old, just, honey, I'm looking forward to the restoration. You look at it, you see one thing. People who aren't aware, they look at it, they see this old building, and so many people have approached us. Why don't you turn it into a condo, mixed use kind of thing? And I'm like, there's enough of that. There's not enough places of worship. You know what I'm saying? Enough places where people can come and get in tune with God, come in and just sit and meditate and say a word of prayer, just come in and just relax and be one and allow themselves to just have a special place for themselves, right? That's my vision. That's my plan for St. Timothy, right? And to restore that. We don't need anymore. We don't need any more residential buildings overpriced and pricing our people out. We don't need that. So it was really important to me to stay focused on that purpose, and to ensure that Brownsville, because again, my heart is still there, and not just because we own the building. I'm lucky and blessed and grateful that we own that building, because my focus is what it is to ensure that we, you, me, our friends and families in Brownsville have a special place of resource, and it is now a landmark.
So let's recap this just a little bit.
Yeah.
Grandma had the courage to take advantage of property for $1. Now I remember those stories, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
Where there was a lot of property that was being sold off. Many of us may or may not have taken advantage of it. But for those who did, you're talking about now years, generations of, and I'll even take it a little step of creating generational wealth. Not that you're making a whole lot of money off of it, right? But the fact of the matter is that you have property that could be transferred, wealth that could be transitioned to someone else down the road. And that's critical because oftentimes, we may think, yes, I'm just going to sell it. I'm not going to be responsible for it. And then, your hands are done and you're tied. But think about what now has happened because your family had the courage to stick it out.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, yeah, because it wasn't always about us. I get it
right.
about the generational wealth and creating resources. Like I fundamentally believe that if we do the work, like why allow someone else to come in and do something you're absolutely capable of doing, right? Just do the research, do the work, be committed to it. It's going to take a little while, but if they can do it, why can't you, right? Um, so just be committed to it. And I don't feel that my daughter or my granddaughter, my great niece, my brother, we shouldn't want for anything. We should be in charge and running these programs and doing the right thing and making sure these things are available to the residents in the community.
Mm.
Yeah,
So
we'll get there.
we
We'll
we
get there.
we are getting there, and that's the truth. And it's with um dopeness like you that are really allowing us to see realistically and can actually, touch and say, hey T, like, I don't know how to do this. How are we supposed to do this? You've done this successfully, right? Even though there were challenges that, now we have some sort of a a community model that we can, you know, make it continue within our community. So I want to say salute to you,
Thank you, sis.
and say that we're really proud of the work that you are doing. So I know that, this is all during the pandemic that, you started doing the food pantry. You started really accelerating the business with Miss Spudz. I want to know how, just not really talking politics because you are a business owner, you are a church owner. Like, what does that look like with all these elections having? How does that impact what you are dealing with? You don't have to say that you need to advocate for someone, but just I know that all this is happening and it does have impact on small businesses. What is your
Yeah,
take on that?
yeah. Um, I have to say, and please forgive me for my naivete or my bit of radicalism. None of it affects me. This is my personal opinion. None of it affects me. I don't feel that anything that's happened in the last 20 years has affected me personally, right? I'm still in a wait and see kind of space, and we have so many new candidates and I don't know who they are. I don't have a lot of time to do their research. So what are they putting out there for me to get to know them, right? We only see them when it's time to campaign. To me, that's a slap in the face and an insult to a working woman. You know what I'm saying? I have multiple jobs. You know what I mean? You have one and you have staff. So when are you going to come out to me other than the campaign to show me, not tell me, don't tell me, show me who you are. What have you done for me? What can you do for me? What are your plans and what is your fight? That's what I really want to know. Who's really fighting for us? The only thing I really care about at this point is reparations. It's real to me. We are old, so who is going to have that conversation about the docket that is still sitting there that needs more research, more discussion? What is there to discuss? These are the I need real conversations. I don't want jargon. I don't want PC. I'm from Brownsville. We don't talk like that, right? We don't have a lot of patience for it, right? So these are the reasons why they really don't affect me, because I don't want to hear what you think I want to hear. I don't want to hear what you think works to get you the job, right? What are you going to do for these people? What are you going to do for them? If you have these residential units that are pricing people out, what are you going to do for them so that they can meet the margin? They can meet the mark. How are they going to get the resources? How are they going to get educated to get the work in order to afford these homes? You're just pushing people out. So where are they going? Right? So who is the elected official that is going to fight the fight? have the conversation. Be as nice as you want to be, but real talk.
It's exhausting.
It
Oh,
really
it's
is. It
exhausting.
really is. I hope you weren't expecting.
No, this is not that show. No.
Okay, good.
Sorry. No, we,
Okay.
we, we like to have very real conversations.
Yeah.
And so, yes, Linda, she says, I love that. Yes, who are they really fighting for? And that's the truth. I agree.
Yeah.
No, I'm not looking for anything except your truth.
The truth. That's it.
Your
Tell me
truth.
if you're going to be a lousy, if you're going to be a lousy official, if you're going to be working for the other side across the border, Crown Heights and Sunset Park, if that's where your heart really is, I can respect that. You know why? Because if I know that, I know how much I will have to fend for myself. I
Right.
know how much I would have to support my home more, or you,
Yep.
or the community, how much more resources I'm going to have to get for this pantry, right? Don't feed me jargon. I don't have the patience. I gotta sell fries. It's a lot.
Yeah, nobody got time for that. So we are almost coming up on our hour. So I wanted to just, I know, didn't it go fast? Told you.
Yeah.
Told
All that I
you.
went through, girl.
I know. Told you. It's gonna be easy. Now I ain't gonna be able to book you no more because people gonna be after you. I'm glad I got you first though.
Okay.
Anyway, so I wanted to just give folks a few moments because I know that we are typing behind the screens. If anyone has any questions, and I'm gonna ask a couple more questions just as we begin to wrap up and open it up to like more questions. So, what type of advice would you give someone if they wanted to start in your industry and purchasing a food truck? Like, what are some of the things that can help accelerate their process?
Yeah. First of all, do your research. Uh, what it takes to own a truck. More than likely, not more than likely, you go to New York City Business Express, Department of Consumer Affairs, the Department of Health. These organizations will tell you everything you need to know. So I just gave you the AB, right? If you want to get a food truck, I say get it. It's a little rough in the winter, but it's winter, right? Layer up, right? But what's the most important thing that you need to know is people eat in the winter, right? So be there, be prepared, and create a menu that people will want to purchase. I say do it. What's not happening when you do a food truck is that you're paying somebody else's mortgage, somebody else's rent. You cut out that middleman, all right? Like I said, it's a lot of work, but if you have a team, create a team that's going to be committed, follow the rules, and make sure you have a great product, and it may not be great to someone else. It has to be great to you, because if it's great to you, selling it is easy. You got to believe it. You got to believe in it.
So I do have one question, and keep them coming. If you have questions, I know that we're behind the screen. Keep them coming. I'll be happy to bring you into the conversation. Are you looking to expand at some point? And if you are, how many trucks would you like to have?
That's a really nice question. Thank you, Avina. My initial plan from onset was to have a truck in every borough. I felt, I'm a New Yorker. Not only am I from Brownsville, East New York, but I'm a New Yorker. So I felt that every borough deserved to have a Miss Spudz in their community. However, I changed my mind and decided, because I love the color spectrum. So as long as I can create colors, I want a truck in every color, wherever they can go. Get it?
All right. So another question I have is, what do you need from your community, from our community, to be able to be supportive of you? Is there anything that you would need from us?
Just show up. Just show up. They're doing great. I really haven't had any complaints. I've gotten great reviews. I may have had one where completely understandable discrepancy with timing. Customer didn't get their order, but that was a wake-up call to me. I have to do better in that area. So the only thing I really need from them is to always and continue to be patient and trust that we are always going to do our best and show up. We are here and we're competing with corporate eateries, the Red Lobsters and the Olive Gardens, and don't judge me if my prices are comparable. You know what I'm saying? The food is bomb.
It sure is. But I also want to add that, sometimes during Easter, we wait online almost an hour and a half for Olive Garden, all those other names, Red Lobster. During Black Friday, we do all of the major brands. And so giving a Black-owned business an extra 15 minutes when they're in their learning process shouldn't be of anything for us. We need to give that second opportunity, third opportunity, just like we continue to shop at the other locations when we are not satisfied. So we have a lot more questions coming in.
Wow. Awesome.
So if given an opportunity, would you be willing to partner with a major company, a large conglomerate, maybe? Oh, why you gave the face? Oh, that's a tough question. Ooh, give it up ownership. Ooh.
That was really tough, because that's really about ownership. I would have to think about that, right? And that's also about legacy, right? I'm not opposed to it, but it depends. It depends on what it leaves for myself and my family and my community, because I'm telling you, when I think about Miss Spudz is a part of the community. I talk to the young people. I've negotiated with them. I've made arrangements with them. Your next meal is on me when this book is read. I even planned, how about that? I even planned on doing a reading room, something I had done as a PTA head for my daughter's school. Remember when we had mandatory reading over the summer, right?
Yep.
That is part of one of the programs I'm going to be having at Miss Spudz, because we also have outdoor seating.
Right.
So we're going to have 8 students come and read maybe 1 hour, 1 or 2 hours a day. Lunch is on us, and just to promote literacy, right? So it depends on what they have to offer. I'm open to anything. I won't say no, but it has to be community-based. It has to create legacy. And, I'm not trying to work for the rest of my life. I'm not crazy.
But not right now. No. And where are you located now?
Currently, our main location is 844 Fountain Avenue, between Fountain and Flatlands, right outside of FedEx. But we are on wheels. Every other Friday, we're at the VA hospital, Brooklyn VA Hospital. We do a medical professionals day there. So you can come there as well, even though we cater to them, but we're open to the public as well. And we're being hired out as well because of graduations, and it's summertime. I'm planning to be at the beach. Is one of my favorite places. So when work is over, I need to hop off the truck and be on the sand. And that's probably another challenging thing, because people want me to be on Fountain Avenue all the time. So that's also the motivation to get another truck, so that I can be there. But I also like moving around. It's exciting. It's fun. And you can follow me. You got wheels. Come on now.
Follow up. So would you ever create a franchise option that gives aspiring entrepreneurs the opportunity to partner with you and go into business for themselves?
Absolutely. You will first have to go to weibo.org to learn how to run a business, and we can certainly discuss it. I'm absolutely open to it. Miss Spudz is a fun company to work for.
Well, the person who owns it is fun.
Oh, thank you.
That's how you create the business.
Yeah.
It goes from the head down. Fundamentals. Right? Like if your boss is whack, the company's culture.
Yeah.
You can have a great product, but the company's culture may be whack. So I just wanted to put that out there.
Yeah, thank you for saying that.
So you're pretty dope. So
thank you.
I'm just trying to give a little bit more opportunity, because I think this is awesome. But I'm going to put up some information about, the food pantry, where you can do the food pantry. Donations are accepted, because as any organization, particularly if you have a nonprofit, donations are needed. And particularly we're in this space where most nonprofits actually need support. So you could do financially, you could do in kind, accepted. according to the needs of the actual organization. So please make sure that you definitely follow. So I also want to put out as well where you can find Miss Spudz. There is absolutely no excuse why you should not be supporting another business such as this. And it's good. I'm not just saying that just because it's really good.
It's good.
It's really good.
It's
Good. It's really good.
It's good.
So, and I just wanted to put that out there. Just make sure that you follow, like, and follow on social media, and make sure that if you need to book, do it appropriately, be patient, and don't think that, just like we wait online for everything else, do it for us as well.
Yeah.
Keep it in our community. So, in wrapping up, what do you have to say? Some words of wisdom before I get into my rapid fire one questions.
Words of wisdom. Just go for it. If there is something that you want to do, even whether it's entrepreneurship, whether it's a relationship, whether it's education, whether it's your children, get into it. Go. Just do it. Look forward to failing, because when you fail or you make these errors, this is where the learning lesson is, right? And you just learn, and this is where the growth is, right? You have to step out on faith. When you step out on faith, you do it every day. When you take a step, you know what I'm saying? Just go, just step. Don't sit on it for too long. Don't think about it too long. You do that, time is going by, and you're going to end up playing catch up. And then once you get there, you're going to be like, why didn't I do this a long time ago? You know what I'm saying? So I say just do it. And entrepreneurship, let me tell you something. Hold on a second. How much time we got? Okay. Entrepreneurship is our legacy. It is who we are. If we are talking about Black Wall Street, we need to talk about Black Brownsville. We need to talk about Black East New York. We need to talk about Linden Boulevard, Atlantic Avenue, and just start creating. We are not a monolith of people. We are too creative. We are too powerful. Do not second guess yourself. Second guess them, because look at where we are. Second guess them. Don't second guess yourself. You are too powerful, honey. Just do it. Just do it. Oh, and if you come to the truck and say you saw us on the Brownsville Minute, you get 10% off your order.
So there you have it. There you have it. Please like and follow Miss Spudz on all of the platforms, social media, on Instagram, on Facebook. Support the business. There's a website that's scrolling across. You can check out the website, and also email and contact as well. So in wrapping up, we're going to do rapid fire. One word answers only.
That don't work.
What's your favorite borough?
The borough's Brooklyn.
Okay. Borough. What do you do in your downtime?
Sleep, read. I'm learning about options trading. Get into it.
Yeah, that's right. Get into it. But I did say one word.
That was one piece.
What's your favorite exercise?
Running and swimming.
What? Pizzas or burgers?
Pizza.
Smoothies or ice cream?
Ice cream with fries. Come and get them, Miss Spudz.
The legacy that you would like to leave your family?
Oh, a fleet of trucks and a remembrance of our power of who we are. That we can do anything. Financial freedom. I don't want us working for anybody. I don't. I want us to be available for everybody.
And on that note, available for everyone. Entrepreneurship is our legacy. I love you, Tinnette. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule, trusting me to be the first to interview you officially, because it's gonna come. Just tell them that you got practice on the Brownsville Minute.
It was good.
And it made it easy. So we love you, and we'll be in touch with you
I love you
soon. Thank
too.
you so much for joining.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Take care. Bye bye.
All right, take good care.
You too.
So I have the wasn't that a good interview though? I'm just telling you, that was a phenomenal interview. I told you it was gonna be good. And not only that, it was just really amazing to highlight and to really see the heart of what comes out of Brownsville. I don't think y'all understand. We produce some of the dopest individuals that come out of Brownsville. I'm one of them, but the show is not about me today. So shout out to Miss Spudz. Make sure you follow Miss Spudz on social media. Make sure you support Black-owned businesses, particularly if they're owned by women, right? Don't hesitate, because we do some dope stuff. So before we get out of here, I always want to share some additional information. Since we are on the topic of entrepreneurship, there are grants. Grants between $5,000 and $25,000 that are now available through the New York State Empire State Development COVID-19 Pandemic Small Business Recovery. Now, I want to actually do a share screen because oftentimes we feel like, oh, we cannot take advantage of this stuff. But I'm going to share this, right? Because this is actually coming directly from the state. And I'm going to put the website up there again, but I want to just actually have this here, right? So that you can see what the requirements are, right? There are specific, easy requirements that if you are in official business, that these should be things that you have specific in your documents, right? So some of the eligibility requirements, right? If you, for example, if you are a nonprofit church, this is not for you. But if you are a for-profit organization, you can use this information, use this grant to cover payroll, commercial rent, utility costs. There are certain things that you can't use this grant for, but I want to make sure that our community hears and knows that these things do exist. So you can't say that we didn't tell you. This is some information that came out last week, and I'm going to keep sharing it because there's about $800 million that is available specifically for us to tap into. Now you're probably like, oh, $5,000, I got that. However, it's a grant. And so please take an opportunity, because grants means that you do not have to pay it back. And so beginning that we're in this space of recovery, this is an opportunity. So please check out New York's NYS Small Business Recovery.org. All of that information is there that you can qualify for. And if you miss this show, you can watch it. It will be on replay. You can take down the information, you can screenshot, but it is here. It is a grant between $5,000 and $25,000 that is now available through the New York State Empire State Development COVID-19 Pandemic Small Business Recovery. The website is there, and I encourage you all, specifically if you have a registered small business and that you've been in operation, please take advantage of it. So on that note, I am in full gratitude. I am full, because it's not often that you get to, really have the opportunity to have wonderful conversations. I am completely blessed and grateful to be able to have this platform to do so. And I also thank you for joining us. So tomorrow is a new day. So I hope that your schedule permits you to join us live, because we are going to be interviewing a candidate for civil court, for a judge for Kings County. It is an opportunity, again, since we're in the midst of this election process right now. I also want to remind you as well that we are in the midst of early voting. Take an opportunity, tap a neighbor, to be able to go and do early voting. It's happening this week up until Sunday. We have primary day, which is June 22nd. My apologies. Polls are open on June 22nd from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. And during this time frame now, early voting, the locations may be different. So if you live next door to someone and that they do not have the ability or do not know what their polling site, know that if they live next door to you, that you go to the same location. So just take them along with you. And so on that note, I want to get a shout out to everyone who joined us live, and please be sure to support Miss Spudz. Thank you, Tinnette, for joining us. You are awesome and amazing. And I want to say so long. See you all tomorrow. Bye-bye.